Kijabe forest onto the road.
Na hata ile imewekwa hapa ni very temporary, ikikuja mvua ingine imeenda. Unaweza angalia venye iko, inaenda kabisa. So bado watu wanafaa wajihadhari na kutembea usiku hapa, no. Sababu hujui mvua ingine itakuja.
The county and the country on Sunday night. Among the dead were 4 members of the same family. 4 other escaped unhurt, while 2 were rushed to health facilities for treatment after being rescued. 4 acres of land was also affected by the landslide. An unknown number of livestock remains unaccounted for in the wake of the landslide. Leaders from the area are asking residents to evacuate from the neighboring areas for fear of more land.
Distributing food and non-food items to the victims of floods in Nairobi's Mathare area at Mathare North Primary School. The Meteorological Department is forecasting heavy rains of up to 100 millimeters in Nairobi in the coming days. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Which swept the lorry off the road and into the swollen river. Rescue attempts are ongoing at the river, with some of the lorry's occupants who managed to climb atop the lorry's cabin still waiting for rescuers as the water levels in the river continue to rise. We'll give you more updates on this developing story in our subsequent bulletins.
There are bodies, they are still looking for more bodies are here. It's just sad. It is a sad moment for us here.
Quite a number of people have been taken to the Naivasha Sub-County Hospital, while a good number are being treated at Mai Mahiu level 4 hospital and also private facilities within this vicinity.
All our stakeholders in the private sector watusaidie na the ambulances. So far wenye wametupatia tunashukuru. The Red Cross tunawashukuru sana, lakini waendelee pia kututumia. Tunahitaji pia msaada wa kidharura. We have so many people affected. Wengine hatujui mahali wako, wengine hospitali zimejaa.
Well, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been visiting the area to assess the situation. This is what he had to say.
Tunakuwaga na shida ya maji. Tafadhali tunaomba nyinyi mkubali mwito wa serikali tuweze kutoka pale, kwa sababu tunaweza poteza maisha. Tumepoteza tayari, ile mili imepatikana zaidi 45 na kungali watu karibu 40 ambao wanatafutwa, hawajulikani wako wapi, kama wamekufa, kama wako uhai. Kwa hivyo ni jambo nzito sana katika nchi letu la Jamhuri ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba our people, tafadhali, madriver wa malori, wa matatu, wa bodaboda, please don't dare nature.
Rain continues to batter Kenya. Residents in the capital Nairobi grappled on Wednesday with the aftermath of the flooding. The deluge has claimed lives, inundated homes and caused extensive property damage, with many residents in the informal settlement of Mathare left without shelter or basic necessities. Houses have been swept away and people have died. Up to now, they have pulled about 6 people out of the water. The government should come and help us. There is no food, nowhere to sleep, and some kids have been swept away. Everything is gone. We have never witnessed such a disaster. Houses have been swept away, people have died, and others are lost. I say this to the government. There are people who do not know where they will sleep today, what they will eat, and there are no shelters. We ask the government to help. 35 people have been killed in Kenya by the floods, which have wreaked havoc in many parts of East Africa since mid-March.
But no, this is Katani Road in Syokimau, Machakos County. The torrential rains experienced overnight clogged the drainage and flooded the road, rendering it impassable for motorists and pedestrians. Small business owners were in for a rude shock as their shops and kiosks were completely submerged. The residential estates were not spared either. Tenants waded through the murky waters to either access their houses or get to their cars. Others had to be carried. Those living on the ground floors had a worse fate. They were forced to use water pumps to pump out the water from their houses. Some of those living in mansionettes in the area were trapped inside their houses.
It was around 3 or 4 in the morning when the water levels started coming up. Tukamushwa, tukajaribu kutoa magari, but it was too late. Magari yote yameingia maji. Sisi tunaishi ground floor. Now the water started coming out from the houses kutoka kwa sewage system.
The biggest problem we have is drainage. The road construction that was being done at the back there has blocked the water. Ndio maana tuko na hii maji.
This lorry ferrying construction materials got stuck along this road, which is among those rendered impassable in the area. Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti, who warned those building houses on riparian land, says her government will rescue those affected and called for more support.
So some of these things inafanyika ni sisi wenyewe we are the ones who are causing some of these things to happen. So for me as the governor of Machakos, and I'm here, I would really like to tell my people, not even in Machakos alone, to move away from the rivers.
Meanwhile, it is a nightmare for over 20 families who are living inside the Nairobi Dam after floods marooned their houses last night. The residents are trapped inside the area, which remains inaccessible until the water levels inside the dam subsides.
More than 100 people already rescued and treated at Mai Mahiu Health Center, and 32 cases referred to Naivasha Sub-Hospital for specialized treatment. Following the incident, a section of Naivasha, Mai Mahiu and Mai Mahiu were closed as authorities moved in to clear the mud and logs that had been washed away by gushing waters.
Naivasha constituency, Nakuru County. Operations have been going on. Trees are down. There are bodies. They are still looking for more bodies are here. It's just sad. It is a sad moment for us here.
Ni kwamba all our stakeholders in the private sector watusaidie na the ambulances. So far wenye wametupatia tunashukuru. The Red Cross tunawashukuru sana, lakini waendelee pia kututumia. Tunahitaji pia msaada wa kidharura. We have so many people affected. Wengine hatujui mahali wako, wengine hospitali zimejaa. Kwa hivyo we are calling upon all our doctors, all our specialists kindly to put the strike aside and come and assist us. The situation is a horror. It's like a horror movie you are seeing.
Yakakuja na nguvu nyingi sana, na maji yameleta madhara ambayo hayajaonekana Mai Mahiu tangu tuzaliwe, sababu imebeba watu, imebeba manyumba, imezoba mpaka magari. Sasa bado watu wanazidi kutoa maiti, hadi wa saa hii maiti inaendelea kutolewa. Haijulikani idadi ni ngapi ambayo watu ambao wamekufa.
All right, and we will be linking up with our reporters later on, including Ken Gashohe, who will be telling us what really happened and painting us to a picture of how the rescue operation is coming by. Meanwhile, I'm now joined by Alex Ayub from the Red Cross, who is live with us here in studio. Alex, please paint for us a picture of what kind of a disaster you are dealing with at the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. Currently, we have a flood situation in the country, and the situation is quite dire with very unimaginable incidences happening. Of course, initially, the conversation was about just normal floods and rivers probably going beyond what you call above normal levels. But we have seen a situation whereby, like the unfortunate incident waking up to the morning of today in Mai Mahiu, specifically in the Kamuchiri area, where we had the old Kijabe Dam breaking its banks and being able to unfortunately get people, catch a lot of people off guard in the wee hours of the night. And so we have had quite a couple of people who have been injured. A couple of them have also lost their lives. We are talking about over 40 people who have already been confirmed dead, and hundreds of others who are still being supported with various situations. So the current urgent work of Kenya Red Cross, we are currently on the ground, and we are having the search and rescue efforts going on. We have our volunteers, our staff, the teams of the trained people who are on the ground supporting with also evacuations, especially from the scene to the hospital, the Mai Mahiu health facility that is there. And there are also other needs that are coming up. For instance, we have situations of people who do not have food. Some of them have their houses houses having been marooned by the waters, and so it's a very dire situation. And we still have live efforts, active operations currently going on in Mai Mahiu. Yeah.
So when you talk about Mai Mahiu, you also have other counties that, of course, have been affected by the rains. We've had cases in Tana River, Machakos, Makueni, Kilifi, Garissa. The biggest question, rather, maybe is as Red Cross, as an organization, are you capacitated enough? Because, for example, like the Mai Mahiu incident this morning, bodies were laying over before rescue came up. So what is the issue?
There's been a lot of a very high level of preparations and preparedness of the various agencies in this country, including the Kenya Red Cross and the government. And part of what has been happening is that you realize that the nature of the disaster that you're dealing with currently is one that has a very dire consequence, in the fact that it also tends to destroy certain key infrastructural spaces, for example, roads. And this also really makes it very difficult for the rescue.
This
is a disaster that has happened from 11 at night until now. We are still rescuing people in this village called Dungondo. And we hope that the government will take precautions to help our people. Our people are suffering. And if you tell them to take their things and go, where are they going?
Hivi hapa tunaposimama tunangojea maji yapungue kiasi ndio tuweze vijana wetu kuingia hapa chini waone kama kuna watu waliingia hapa chini wakafunikiwa ndiposa waokolewe.
Karibu 20 waliweza kuzombwa na maji, 11 wakaokolewa. Hadi saa hii ndipo asubuhi tumepata kuweza kutoa lori yenyewe.
Heavy rains still continue to wreck East Africa, specifically Kenya. Since mid-March, 35 people have died in flooding events that have affected more than 100,000 people, according to the UN, which cites Red Cross figures in the most recent updates. Flooding has been reported in residential areas in Nairobi as rivers broke their banks Sunday night. There was a heavy downpour from around 7 p.m. till dawn. The water here was a lot. It was heavily flooded on this whole road. It was like a river, and you could not tell where the road ended and the trenches were. It all looked the same, but we hope the government will help us. Those who live by the Nairobi River are being urged to move to higher ground At least 40,000 people are displaced in 21 out of 47 of the counties in the country. Flooding and mudslides have